Hi, I'm Eileen Roche, and welcome to today's episode of Between Friends. Thanks for joining me. My goodness, I see many of you tuning in. Retha Ranke is the only one who is boasting about 70 degrees. Everybody else is kind of simmering. Jennifer Alexander, over 100. Here in Dallas, Texas, we're at 97 degrees and climbing. So I don't want to have a competition to see where it's hottest, but boy, this is a sweltering heat wave in the south for sure, and lots of smoke up north. So I hope that this is a good time to stay inside and learn about embroidery. And today we're going to learn about stitching on paper, which is super fun with our embroidery machines. But I'm not going to do it by myself. I have my good friend Sue Brown from OML Embroidery. So let's welcome in Sue.
Hey everybody, here I am. All my peeps are happy to see that I'm back on. Yay, yeah. Thank you, Eileen.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome.
Paper is so much fun to stitch on. Everyone should try it.
Yeah, it has its challenges, right? Because you can tear it. And if you put a needle into a location that you didn't want a hole in, you're not getting that back out. So, but really, it's a lot of fun. It's a real
It is. It seems weird to do, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So what's been going on at OML Embroidery?
Oh, we've been keeping busy with Shadowbox designs and learning different techniques. People are loving them. It just popped into my head one day, and trying something new is what I'm pushing on people. Try something different. We did cut work because nobody's done cut work. We did a couple of that on how to do it, and everyone's learning. Everyone that's a step out of the embroidery box, we say.
Yeah, cut work is a traditional technique that we really don't see much of anymore, and it is beautiful.
It is beautiful, beautiful. I made a couple free ones for everyone just so they can get out and try, and a lot of people did, and they loved it.
Yeah, so it's kind of like reverse applique in the sense that you're cutting away fabric, but this time it's inside the outline, and you're cutting all the way through. You're really removing the fabric for that peekaboo.
Really removing the fabric, yes.
Yeah.
So the look is fantastic. It reminds me of like my grandmother or my great-grandmother.
Yeah.
It's just, they're gorgeous. So those are the main things we've been working on. I think next month we're going to do some more digitizing on the PEP software.
Oh, lovely. So PEP is our Perfect Embroidery Pro. That's our full digitizing software package. For those of you who have Embroidery Toolshed, you could follow along with Sue because all of our software programs are in Embroidery Toolshed in a demo version. So you could follow along and play. You just won't be able to save the design. But here, Jennifer Alexander, I'm pretty sure she's a member of the OML gang, right? And she says that your shadow boxes are really awesome. So that's quite kind. A real
thank you.
Message of endorsement, right?
It's a lot of fun, a lot of applique, and a lot of color play. So there's a lot. It's not like a huge long stitch out, but if you get the colors and the thread just perfectly, an exquisite thread always does that for me, and I love it. It looks amazing. So things in the distance are lighter colors. When they're closer, they're darker colors.
Awesome.
And it looks good. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Hey, here's Isabelle Briand from France, I'm pretty sure, right? She's one of your OML gang members. Nice to have her here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah. So, when you stitch on paper, there's a lot to consider. There's, the design selection. Not any design will work. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I've tried I do embroidery experiments, and no, some of the designs do not work. They have to be light and airy, basically.
Yeah. Because, speaking of cut work, that's kind of what you would wind up with, right? Just a big hole in the paper.
Yep.
So
I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah. Okay. So design selection, stitch recommendations, and stabilizer choices. And of course, thread is what's going to make it all sing. So let's go ahead and also talk about the hoops that you would use. So Sue, I tend to use two different hoops, sticky hoop for most of my paper embroidery, but also snap hoop. without any stabilizer?
I think I use the snap hoop
Okay.
more. I do have a sticky hoop, but I
Mhm.
think I'm gonna have to get it out and try it because you're right, it would be a whole lot easier to use it.
Yes. So we're going to go through some of those steps here. Now let's talk about the cardstock. Cardstock is a generic term for paper, and it refers to medium and heavyweight papers. So what I just with a little bit of research, I'm not a scrapbooker, I'm not a greeting card maker by, years of experience, but I've been dabbling in it and learning a little bit. So medium weight paper is 65 to 80 pounds, and that's usually what we find in greeting cards that we purchase. So kind of, in your mind, you can feel the hand of that card, right? It's got some stiffness to it. It's got some real body. When you score it or fold it, you probably have to score it, like, do a really strong finger press or use a tool to do that. This type of paper will go through your printer rather easily. And you can stitch on it for sure. And we'll tell you how to stabilize that in a minute. Now, heavyweight papers, well, they're heavier. They're 80 to 110 pounds. Think business cards. Of course, today, business cards come in all kinds of weights, right? But traditional business cards are 80 to 110 pounds. This weight of paper may not go through your home printer, and actually we're not doing any printing on the paper today, but some of you may want to incorporate printing and embroidery. How about you, Sue? Have you ever incorporated both?
I have not, but it sure sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, it does sound like a great idea. And we'll have to save that for a future Between Friends, right, Sue? That would be a lot of fun.
Great.
Yeah. Okay, now I found this website, www.12by12cardstock.shop, and that's where you can buy all kinds of cardstocks in, guess what size? 12 by 12, right?
Perfect.
But they have a lot of information there about paper weight and different types of paper. And so one thing that we should know is, of course, just like thread and many other measurement systems, there are a variety of measurement systems. So there's bond weight, text weight, cover weight, and metric weight. So just stick to one, whichever one you're comfortable with. And you should also know that weights are different on different types of paper. So if you are going to purchase traditional cardstock, it will come in a variety of different weights. But if you're also going to purchase vellum, a 60-pound vellum would be very different than a 60-pound paper. So do your research and just understand that it is not apples to apples when it comes to paper. Within its category of paper or fiber type, then all the measurements are the same. But when you're cross-referencing, it's a whole new ballgame. That's as confusing as bobbin weight thread and needle thread, right?
No. I think you would figure it out really quickly when you're purchasing it and you feel the paper. If it's really thick and you can't bend it very easily, you're going to know that that's a little too heavy. Normal printer paper is really thin. You don't want that either.
Right. Copy weight, but a lot of times we're buying paper that we can't feel, like it might be in a package all sealed. That's kind of a bummer, right? Because quilters, embroiderers, sewists love to touch the substrate that they're purchasing, or if you're buying online, you're not so sure. Hey, let's say hello to Donna Bond. She's joining us from Somerset, England. Hello, Donna. Thanks for joining us from across the pond. Is she a member of the OML gang? Do you know, Sue?
I'm not sure offhand.
Okay.
She could be. She will be now.
She is now. That's right. And so, well, we're very happy that she's here. And Diane Mills says she finally found us. She keeps missing Between Friends on Thursdays. Well, Diane, it's okay if you miss it. Those broadcasts are available. You can always rewatch those broadcasts. They're there forever. You can watch me age right on YouTube. Okay, so, right? Let's look at some pretty thread. The colors are endless, right?
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I love that.
Mm-hmm. So this is our 40 weight exquisite polyester embroidery thread. And it comes on a snap spool, makes the thread tail storage very easy. It has the thread number printed on the label on the top, and it is a very dependable, high quality, and yet affordable thread that I use, the only thread I use in my embroidery. And Sue, it's the only one you use too, right?
Absolutely. I have other threads, but I moved them way over there because I don't need them. If I don't have an exquisite one, I'll figure something out. I've never had any problems. They run through my new luminaire perfectly. There's no thread pillars. I love it. And I almost always find the perfect color. And that makes me very happy. I love it.
I love to hear that. So here's a color wheel that I made, just setting up the spools. And this is only 60 spools, but you really I was really able to flesh out a color wheel. So she's right. I mean, we have 288 colors in the line, but starting with 24 or 60 is plenty to get you started, right?
Yes.
Here's a color wheel stitched. Isn't that pretty?
Beautiful.
So fun. Really was. Quite fun. A lot of thread changes. 60 thread changes. Rah. Okay, so I kind of flipped through our special. So let me go back to it so you can see that all thread this week is on sale. Everything from our exquisite polyester solid colors to our medley variegated and our fine line. So if you remember, fine line is our 60 weight thread, and we like to use that for micro text. And we also like to use it sometimes in quilting, because sometimes you just want that thread to add texture to a quilt and not have a lot of excess, thread buildup. So it's multi-uses for both of them. And this is the time to take advantage of it. Let's see. So Rhonda Martinez said she started with 60. Great. That's a wonderful place to start. Very affordable to do that. And then as your needs expand, you can add more blues, more pinks, more grays, whatever it is that you're in need of. So let's see. Michelle de Jacques says, best way to store and organize 200 spools. Well, I personally like to organize by color, and I like to organize on thread racks. So this is a wall rack. This is hanging on that wall, and there's 60 pegs on there. So at home, I have 6 of those thread racks, and that holds all 288 colors, plus my variegated and King Star. So that's how I store it. I store it out of sunlight. That's the most important thing to do, is make sure your thread is not having sun hit it every single day. Other people are concerned, some people are concerned about dust. And so they may cover their thread, or they could put it, in drawers or a storage cabinet. And some people, like literally drape fabric over their thread if it's on the wall. I personally don't worry about that. I use my thread so much that I really don't have that much dust buildup. And if I do, just, brush it off. It's not that big of a deal, right? How about you, Sue?
I was just going to say that, man, there's no dust on mine. I use it every day. So if there is a color, I have to, bring it in and use it. But no, I use it all the time. No dust on it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Let's read Judy Burt. She says, she tells her family they can use all my thread to bail me out if needed. I think she's referring to jail. So good to know, right?
That's good.
In your embroidery machine, you would be able to post bond, right? Yeah. Okay, so Marilyn wants to know if we sell clear boxes for thread storage. We do not sell boxes, clear boxes. They're readily available in big box stores. So I think you would have some success there finding them. Okay, so let's look at those pretty colors again. And then we're going to move on and talk about, here's our thread chart, our embroidery thread chart. Now this is real thread wrapped around those, that paper, the card stock that holds the actual individual threads. And it gives you the color number. On the last page is a numerical list that identifies each thread spool by number and then indicates what column on the thread chart that color is located. So that makes for easy identification if you're looking for that. And Susie wants to know, do we sell the thread wall racks? We do sell those thread wall racks. They come in, they're wooden, and they come in a natural finish. And you can stand them on the, they're really a tabletop. So they stand up, or you can add a couple rings to the back and then hang them on the wall, like I have done that. And let's see, Pat Woolen says she loves the real thread charts. Lots of people love the real thread charts. And let's see, Margie Hirschberger, you want to know, do we have a conversion chart? We do have a conversion chart. And someone in my team, I'm sure, is going to post that link. You can download this conversion chart for free. It's a PDF, and it converts many different brands to exquisite. But did you know, in Embroidery Toolshed, you have a digital conversion chart right there, right, Sue? You can convert any color to any other palette, or, their palette to our palette, right?
I just use exquisite, so I don't need to transfer anything.
Yeah,
it's all there.
I like that too. And frankly, I don't mind doing it digitally. I'm pretty comfortable doing it digitally. And let's see, Pat Woolen wants to know, is the King Star on sale? King Star is not on sale with this sale, but that will be coming up, sometime in the future. But right now, it's all of our polyester thread. And boy, that's the thread that you're going to use every day, right? All embroidery pretty much is stitched with exquisite thread or polyester thread. Okay, here is that thread rack standing up. As you can see, it has two legs that kind of kick back and let it stand up. The beauty of these racks are the spacing of the pins is sufficient for the base of the spools. Many thread racks that you purchase specifically online, the pins are too close together and your spools turn out to be wobbly, overlapping each other, or you have to omit every other pin, which, kind of defeats the whole purpose, right? Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Let's talk about, hey, let's take down PowerPoint so I can see where I messed up here. Can we do that, please? Thank you. Oh, man. What did I do with I had a couple other slides that talked all about stabilizer. Oh, well, we'll just wing that, right, Sue?
Next time.
Okay, so the stabilizer that I used is our no-show fusible. And I fused that to the wrong side of my embroiderable area on my card. And then I placed that stabilized paper on sticky hoop. And of course, sticky hoop is going to have peel and stick on it. So I actually have two layers there. So let's see. Maybe it's time to go, I don't know. Let's see. First, let's answer this question over here. Debbie Wears wants to know, can you use embroidery thread for quilting? You bet you can. It's beautiful in quilting. It adds just a little sheen, a little shimmer to your quilt top. So it kind of catches the eye as all that texture, as the quilt moves and so forth. It's beautiful. How about you, Sue? Do you use it for quilting?
Oh, absolutely. I don't use anything else. Sometimes if you're doing something, you can make the thread match, or you can make the thread color stand out. Yeah. And I find both look fantastic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a whole topic unto itself. What color do I select for my quilt? Well, many people select a thread that is the same color as the background, so that it's just adding texture and letting the blocks, the patches or applique be the star. But if you're doing beautiful quilting designs, like gorgeous feathers and so forth, you might want that in a contrasting color, right? Let it be seen.
I have done it a few times for Beatrice for bee things on black, and I do the quilting in bright yellow, and it is absolutely beautiful.
I agree. I agree. And Mary S. Larson says she uses embroidery thread for everything. Well, here's a true confession. I only have sewing thread in black and white. And I sew a lot. So I use my embroidery thread as sewing.
I don't have any sewing thread, so
Yeah.
you beat me on that.
Right. I mean, it's beautiful thread. It's strong. It's polyester. I know it's going to last. I know it's going to hold up in a seam. I can change that stitch length for whatever my needs are. I love it for sure. Okay. Yeah. Caroline Booth, same thing. She uses her embroidery thread for sewing all the time.
I don't see why not.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, and Karina Baum from South Africa, welcome. It's lovely to have you here. Thank you for joining us today. You're never late. You're never too late to join us here at Between Friends. So don't be worried about that. Okay, so why don't we go over, what should we do next? Let's see. Let's look at this week's On the House. And in order to do that, we'll first take a look at PowerPoint. So, Sue's here because she's going to do a sew along on Saturday and with this design that I'm about to reveal. So first, let's go ahead and take a look at what you've been stitching. Cute design. So many different creative takes on our designs. Don't you think, Sue?
Absolutely beautiful. My favorite is the camping. I love that one.
You love that one. That's awesome. That's because you want to hit the road. Right?
Maybe.
Okay, so this is this week's project. And if you remember, all of June has been about welcoming a new baby. So this is the final offering in that theme. And you're actually going to get 3 different embroidery designs. We have the freestanding lace elements, which is the hearts, 2 different hearts, and a onesie, and actually 2 onesies. And then it's a girl and it's a boy with the clothesline. These are super fun to make. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we do it. So first off, you're going to stitch on sew and wash the lace elements. Now, I digitized these so that you could easily pull out the girl onesie or the boy onesie. The hearts will stitch, kind of together as one color, and then you'll either omit the pink onesie or omit, the blue onesie with the star. And then what you'll actually stitch on paper is it's a boy, it's a girl with the clothesline. And that image there of it's a boy barely shows the clothesline, but it's there. It's there. It's part of the design. So when you hoop the stitch and wash, the sew and wash, you're going to add baker's twine so that those hearts have something to hang on from the clothesline. So what you're seeing here is a hoop with sew and wash hooped. And then color 1 are just those 2 straight lines, those tiny little they're not that tiny, 1/2 inch placement lines. And then you're going to take a generous length of baker's twine, like I did 7 inches for each of the, on both sides. So I cut a length of the baker's twine and I put one end over that placement guide and I tape it right to the stabilizer using, transparent tape, and it's going to stay in the design, but who cares? And then I tape the other end of the twine to the hoop. Doesn't matter what hoop you're using, tape it to the hoop because you don't want to have that twine get caught in the heart in a section that you don't want the twine in. And then you'll repeat that for the second heart. Okay, and then it comes out of the hoop. And well, here we have like, the real image. So you can see on the left, the pink. I learn as I go, right? I'm always learning because I always have to make like one or two, at least two of these to figure out the right way to present it to you. And notice that I cut my baker's twine on the left too short. So I hadn't even thought about pinning it or taping it to the hoop. And then, a light goes off and I realize, okay, well, when I do the next set, I'm going to tape that twine, cut it longer and tape it to the hoop. And then next up is you're going to pull that out of the hoop after the onesie is stitched, and you'll trim as close as you can. And then let's see if I have a heart. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the overhead cam, and I'm going to show you. I hope you can see this, but notice how my twine is not centered in my heart here, right? That's because I didn't tape it, and we don't want that to happen. So here we do have one here that I did tape, and now it's dead center, and that'll look really lovely on the card. So that's why we tape it, right? We learn, absolutely, we learn. Okay, so then let's go back to PowerPoint. You're going to trim that nice and close, as best you can, but then you'll rinse it. And warm water is the best to rinse it in. Now, we have to orientate it in the hoop in the proper direction. So on the left, that's how we want the card to read. And on the right is how we're actually going to hoop it. And we do that because we don't want the entire card to be stuck on the peel and stick. So let's go over to the overhead cam, and I'm going to bring in a hoop that I have already prepared. Well, first let's take a look at the card. So here's my cardstock, and on the wrong side, I have fused my no-show mesh, or my no-show cutaway, to the wrong side of the entire design area. And I learned if I extend it off of the paper, it's easier to remove and kind of trim it out. You'll see why in a little while later on. Okay, so we have that all set. Here is my sticky hoop. I'm going to turn this around so it's in your orientation. Is that your orientation? Yeah. No, this is your orientation. Okay. Now remove that paper. And then I like to use, so I'm going to place my card, and I do this right in the center of the hoop. I don't get real particular about, I want it square, and I could use POW. I guess I could turn that on, see if let's not bother with that. Okay, so I want to make sure, like what I'm doing here is I am making sure that this fold, this scored area, is aligned with the 8, and here with the 8. And you could use whatever number you want. And then I take my centering ruler and I place that on the card. And what I'm doing now is I am finding the center of this section, both this direction and this direction. So I can see that I'm not quite centered vertically. So I'm keeping an eye on these lines. So it's like 2 1/8 here and 2 1/8 there. And on this side, we are 2 3/4 and 2 3/4. And because this is sticky, I could just finger press that down. And now when I go and place this on the machine, I center my needle right there, right dead center. I'm not going to put a target sticker there because I don't want to have to peel it off. It may leave a spot, and I'm not going to make a mark. But I can, eyeball that with the navigation on my machine and get that needle centered right there. And of course, before I stitch, I'm going to remove that ruler, and then I'm ready to stitch. And so I have already started that here. And as you can see, the first color is It's a Boy. And the next is the clothesline with the little placement marks. And the first thing that you will do is place the first heart. And this is your judgment call. You're going to decide how much baker's twine you want. So you can have you just don't want to obscure the text, right? We don't want to do that. So you just kind of want to center it and then place it so that it's aligned with that placement mark. And here I have an image of this because I'm actually not going to go to the machine and do that. So if we could, yeah, thanks, Roy. Okay, so as you can see, I just use like the skewer that's in my hand right now. I use that to hold on to the baker's twine for the heart and also the onesie. And then I just use, I just let it stitch. Yeah, just let it stitch. So it really works out pretty easily. What do you think, Sue? Bring Sue in.
I absolutely love it. I think that is such a cute design. We're going to have a lot of fun doing this. I love it.
Yeah, and it really works out. I mean, I know it looks like really baker's twine, you're going to get that to hold steady, but you really do. You have that extra long length. And when you're sitting at the machine, the excess baker's twine is right at the bottom of the hoop. So you can hold on to it. It's not like you're trying to reach behind the foot or the needle, which is another great reason to orientate the card upside down, Yeah, so super fun. And the colors, you could do whatever colors you want. So let's see, Dawn Tennyson wants to know what tape. I use Scotch tape, just transparent tape. And the tiniest little bit, like a 1/4 inch by the width of the tape at both on the stabilizer, which will eventually be stitched over in the heart, and then, the same size piece at the top of the hoop. So really easy to use. Let's see. Valerie wants to know where can you find the thread chart? Maybe one of our team members will post a link to the thread chart that's on our website. That would be helpful. Okay. And the thread chart that she's referring to is the PDF conversion chart, I believe, or maybe she's also talking about the to purchase the other. Okay, so aren't these so cute? But I've made other samples. So shall we look at, oh yeah, so let's look at the other samples. But first off, Marilyn wants to know, when do you cut off the extra twine? Well, as you saw in my image a couple slides ago, I cut it right after I stitched it down. But you can wait till you have all 3 elements stitched down. It's the clothespins that hold it in place, and then you just snip it off at the top. So let's see, Mary S. Larson. Yes, I do sew over the tape. So the tape is inside those hearts. We don't need any tape on the onesie, okay? Because the onesie doesn't have any baker's twine in it. The baker's twine is only in the hearts. They are freestanding. That's how we get those 3 elements, kind of staggered across the clothesline, just like they would be. Okay, let's see. Mary Ellen wants to know, where do you get the centering ruler? The centering ruler is in our embroidery toolkit, which is quite a handy kit. It comes with 2 centering rulers. This is the big one. There's also a smaller one that's in there, and there's some other tools that are in the embroidery toolkit. And I'm sure one of our team members will post a link. Let's see. The hoop you're using, that is, yes, Lisa Schwartz, the hoop that I am using is the sticky hoop. So let's go back over to the overhead and look at some of my other samples, okay? So to get a good look at this sticky is, it comes with rulers and, of course, the attachment in the bottom metal frame. And it comes with 5 sheets of peel and stick stabilizer that has been cut perfectly for the hoop that you purchase. And there's refill packs available if you would like them. But it is just so handy, and it's so nice and flat, which is beautiful for this project. Okay, I'm going to cover that up and put that aside so I can show you some of the other samples that I stitched. So let's see. Well, I had some fun with some HTV. And this is our glitter, Caesar glitter, right, that we sell in our Shimmer and Shine kit. So I just cut out, a horn, somebody that you want to celebrate, a big accomplishment, like toot your horn, right? And hooray. And then these 2, Well, this one, I guess, I don't know where that other brown one is. I actually, you can't really see it, but let's see if we can get the light to play. So I took the thread out and I used a large needle, like a 90-14, and I just stitched the words without thread and just created those holes. So even when I put white behind it, which I thought I could put white behind it and you would see it better, but not really. So I don't know. It was a fun experiment. I don't know that I would really go forward with this, but it is subtle and I can read it. Like in my hand, I most certainly can read it. Oh, and you can see it fairly well there too. Kind of fun. Do you like that, Sue?
That is interesting. Right when you put it down, I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is neat. Almost like a secret message.
Yeah, it's like a secret message. It isn't the type of way you would celebrate something, right? It's like, psst, like a secret. But, and on my machine, Sue, I use a Brother Luminaire like you do. I also use a Solar. Well, I use a lot of different machines, but most of my machines have the ability to turn off the thread sensor. So I do that and I just remove the thread and it just allows you to stitch and the machine won't stop and tell you that there's something wrong, which is cool, huh?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Sounds like another show.
Yeah, I think you'd have a lot of fun with that. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And here I mixed HTV again. So here is our shimmer, our glitter, and then a thank you, and just like a wave, just and this is something you can create in minutes. I mean, you cut out that starfish on a digital cutter and this stitching, literally 10 minutes is all that takes. And then I do cover the back with another piece of cardstock so that I can write on it and it covers up the bobbin thread. So here's one that I didn't cover, as you can see, that still has the wrong side of the embroidery is visible. But Sue, look what thread I used. This is your favorite thread, the variegated. I know you love that.
It is my favorite. That is gorgeous.
Isn't that fun? So that's one of the fonts in our Word Art and Stitches that was digitized specifically for color play. And then just a decorative stitch at the bottom. So I did cut another piece of cardstock and I added 2 strips of double-sided tape. So I'll remove them and then I'm just going to cover up that wrong side. And I just lay it down, and cover it up. And that's it. Out the door it can go, right? With a message, and it's awesome. But Sue, tell us about color play. I understand that's like your favorite thing.
In so many ways, it's my favorite thing. I think I bought all of them. So the color play is the spool kits. So what it is the variegated thread and the colors that the spools that make it up. And it's super nice to have everything around. What I do is I unwrap them. Now this card is pretty thick. I just keep it in a drawer. So if I want this one, I just look for the numbers. They're right below. I think that's great. And one like this isn't the color play, but I love packages like this because look, it's all there. It's all the greens you've ever wanted. Yeah. How much easier can it be? I love it.
Yes, that's our thread
quartet.
Yeah, the quartets. They are fun, very affordable, and on sale this week. 4 colors. We have all different colorways, but it's nice to add to your thread collection in small increments like that, in small kits. Like, you look at your wall of thread, you're like, I'm a little weak on green. I'm a little weak on pink, right? And it's a nice way to do that.
That solves it because it goes light to dark. And it's perfect. I love it.
Julianne Crookston says that she has all of her color play organized together. Well, that's brilliant. I never really thought about that. I love how you save that packaging for reference. Yeah, we have to take note of that here at Dime. Make sure that we are, incorporating that information because it is handy. Let's see.
It is. It's so thick. I just have a pile of them, and I find the spool of
Yeah.
variegated that I want. Then I find the card and I pull it
Right.
all out and I'm done.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, super fun. Okay. Oh, so I do have one more card to share. So let me show you this one. This one is along the same play as the one that with the lace, but this time I just skipped the twine and I cut out these fabrics of, I used a charm pack. And so first, when I'm cutting these out on a digital cutter, I spray them with Sullivan's fabric stiffener. And let me show you that can. This stuff is awesome. So it dries quickly and you can press it dry. So it works very fast. It is an aerosol. So you spray it on the wrong side of the fabric. Well, it really doesn't matter wrong or right side, but I always do it on the wrong side. And then I press it so that it dries quickly. And then I apply Fuse Me to the wrong side of the applique fabric, right? And so you can see, like, look at the hand of that. It's pretty stiff, right? It's not like regular cotton fabric now. And so then I apply the Fuse Me to the wrong side, remove that protective paper, and then place this wrong side up on my cutting mat for a digital cutter. And then it cuts out those little hearts, nice and easy. If I don't use this stiffener, I have a big mess. I've made lots of messes. I have the proof to show you, but I throw it out. I usually get mad and throw it out, so I didn't keep the mess. But isn't that fun? Yeah, so let's see. Julianne wants to know what font was used for the capital E. So let's take down PowerPoint, please, so I can do a little research here. Let's see. The E card that's Bridgeton. So we can share it now if you'd like to share the laptop. Oh, no, we can't do that. Let me see if I can reshare so you can see what that is. That's so odd that it's not allowing me to show the software. So just bear with me 1 minute while I do this. Thanks for your patience. I appreciate it. Okay, here we go. Here's Embroidery Tool Shed. And so this is the Bridgeton font. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at that so you can see where that thread buildup occurs. And I can change the color of this so that you can see it in the medley. Now, remember we talked about a digital conversion chart? Well, here you have it. I mean, everybody's palette is in here. But I also have my exquisite medley in this library. And so that was the color. I did the summer berry, and that's what I stitched it in. So now you can see what the colors are going to look like, where that thread buildup is. Isn't that pretty? So pretty.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so much fun. So Julianne Crookston, I believe that font is in Word Art and Stitches. So if you have Word Art and Stitches, you'll find that there. Okay. So now let me bring PowerPoint back up because I'm pretty sure I have to stop sharing and then come back in. Oh, man. It's been a busy week here at Dime. Do you all know that Bernina University is here in Dallas right now this week, which has been exciting. We have a booth down there, and I taught a couple classes to dealers, and oh boy, so much going on. Really fun. Okay, so Sue, do you know that Ashley Jones does a software success 2 times a month here at Dime on Facebook Live?
I watch them, especially the one on lace, because you know how I feel about lace. It's
That's
so
your
wonderful.
Yeah.
Because I watch them because you can learn something. Anyone
Right.
can learn something. And I always do. So it's fantastic.
When I watch Ashley, I learn something always, every single time I watch her. And so it's awesome.
It
So
is.
if you don't want to miss one of our software success, then this is how you get notified. Are we going to play that, Roy, or are we just going to put that?
In this video, we'll show you how to subscribe to a YouTube channel and follow a Facebook page. Let's start with YouTube. First, open your web browser and navigate to youtube.com. Once you're on your home page, search for Designs in Machine Embroidery in the search bar at the top of the screen. Click on it and go to the channel page. Once on the channel page, click the subscribe button. And that's it. You're now subscribed to the channel. Now, let's move on to Facebook. Once you're on your home page, search for Designs in Machine Embroidery in the search bar at the top of the screen. When you find the page you want to follow, click on it and go to the page. Once on the page, click the three dots on the right side and select the follow button. And that's it. Now you're following the page. Thanks for watching.
So Ellen, so she said, oh, in Dallas is having the beginning of 1980 repeat temps. Yeah, I didn't live here in the 80s, thank goodness, because I heard it was really bad then. But I wanted to call out, oh, Sharon Crowder. She says that she's been making note cards with her embroidery machine, and they've been coveted by receivers. It is a special gift that you can send someone, right?
People love it because they can't first of all, they can't figure out how you made it.
Yeah.
And second of all, it's personalized usually. So absolutely, anytime you can make one, go for it.
Yeah, it's a little more effort, but you know, we don't, maybe you're like me and you don't send a lot of personal notes anymore, handwritten notes, but boy, if you go to that extra step to send a stitched card, wow, it means so much to the recipient. It really does. So if you're trying to express how much they mean to you, it's a very good way to do it, for sure. Oh my. So, well, we do have some exciting stuff coming up here next week, July 6th. This is a hot topic and it's dear to my heart, Sue. So you ready for this? This is Borders in a Flash, and it is one continuous strip of applique, the whole 45-inch length of quilt. So it's raw edge applique, but I'm going to show you how you do it in a monster hoop and how you can just keep connecting those designs and keeping that one piece of applique. So it's super fun.
Wow.
I know.
Wow, that's really nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Is it Thursday yet? It is, but next Thursday.
Next Thursday, July 6th. And before we get to July 6th, we have this Saturday, which is the 1st, July 1st, with Sue. At what time, Sue?
10 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. 10 a.m., bring your coffee and cinnamon rolls. That's our thing now. And yeah, and we will be stitching gorgeous cards. I can't wait. I can't wait.
We're losing our internet right now. Oh my. Okay. But anyway. We're just going to hang in there and bear for a minute. So OML is at
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock
10 a.m.
Eastern time.
Yep, Eastern time.
Yeah.
On the OML Embroidery YouTube channel. Everyone come join us, and we're going to stitch some cards. And if you haven't stitched cards, join us because it is more fun than you can think. It's wonderful.
I can't wait to see what you do. I mean, I know you'll do this project, but I bet you'll have some other tricks up your sleeve, right?
I usually do, yes.
Awesome.
I live outside the embroidery box, so something a little different.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for joining me. It's always a pleasure to have you here,
Oh,
Sue.
it's lovely to see you again. That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
You bet. And Sue will be back again this year. We'll let you know when. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you here next week, July 6th, 1 o'clock.